Hey, what's up, traders? This is Dave, and in this video, we are going to look a little bit to the macro, right? Because I think here's some important things which is really need to be said, and I think many people has it wrong, right? Especially these Bitcoiners and these crazy pumpers, they are probably right? They all expecting the rate cuts, and they think it's going to be positive for the market, right? But trust me, the Fed is not cutting to support the markets. Mostly when they start to cut, it's because they are saving something, right? So here we have a chart of the Fed funds, right, which is basically the interest rates. We can see it's now 4.3. They cut it a little bit, right? So based on what they are cutting, right, they're obviously watching the data, and here is a 2 years bonds, right? So let's check this, right? And I will put this, right, so we can see basically the timeline, right? And we will start here in the year 2000, right? So we can see January 2000, yields starts to go lower, right? It starts to go lower. The red one, the blue one, the Fed starts to cut rates 3 months later, right? And it starts to drop also. They both goes together, right? When the yield starts to go up, right, the Fed start a little bit increasing the rates, basically tightening, right? And again, it starts to drop in here, January, right, 2006, 2007, it starts to drop, right? Here we have a GFE, right, world, this break of the all the markets in 2008, right? And you can see the yield starts to go down a little bit later, Fed starts to cut, right? And again here during the COVID, and right now we are here, and I think they should already cut a little bit more, right? So it's interesting, but right now let's put something what it will tell us, what will probably happen with the markets, right? Because everyone is expecting the Bitcoin and the stocks and everything, crypto, right, going up, parabolic, right? It's actually not what history says, right? So let me put the S&P overlay in here, and let's see what has been happening with the S&P back in that times, right? So I will take this again back in here, right? And let's check, right? Here in year 2000, dot-com bubble, right? Look, yields down, Fed starts to cut, right? S&P tanked, right? Basically crashed. 2008, right? You can see yield down, Fed started to cut. It has S&P has still moved a little bit higher. This is 3 months chart, right? It has moved higher, right, for the next quarter, and then it starts tanking down, right? They've been cutting all the way down here. Right now we are here. Here was the COVID, right? I will jump over that, and now we are here, right? So basically, again, right, we have the cut in here, price started to drop, right? Again, we have interest rates around 5%, right? Yields start to go down, they need to cut, right? Most likely market will follow. But there is a one more piece into the puzzle. Let me bring it back in here, and it's the unemployment rate side. This is the last piece which we need to see flip also, right? So again, let's compare in here, right? I will take this here so you can see it clearly. When the market starts to drop down here, the unemployment in the US starts to grow up, right? Again here in the 2008, and you can see actually the unemployment start to grow, right, before the market start tanking, right? Now we had the big unemployment spike in here during the COVID, and now we are back in here, right? So look, it's actually somehow, you know, going higher. That's the last thing which is, in my opinion, holding the markets. If this starts to go higher, I think we will see a bigger drop in the market, right? And also it depends on how they will be cutting. Let me bring you my article, which is a little bit older already, but I will show you here. So it's an article called Similarities with 2007 Crash, right? And it's quite interesting because look here. In 2007, September 18, right, we actually gonna have a Fed meeting also in this September. Market source after Fed cut key rate by half point, right? There probably will be half point cut also, right? And look what has happened, right? So this is a daily chart, in my opinion, and yeah, and they cut, it went higher, and then it started tanking, right? And here is what they've been doing, right? So as much more they start to cutting, they accelerate because they protecting these rates, these markets, right? Because all these banks are basically in the deep leverage, and they need the basis points, the rates going down, right? So you can see in here September, October, December, January emergency meeting, the cut 75 basis points, right? This, when this happened, it's basically end, right? And yeah, so they did September, October, December cuts, right? And the market, but it's crazy, right? So here is the important chart I want to show, right? So again, here is the four elements which we need to watch, right? So we have the yields starts to go down, right? Blue, interest rates, they start to cut. You can see the market was still able from the September to the November went higher, right? So it's basically topped. This is where the smart money sold, right? They sold to the people. People were unemployment, right? Unemployed, right? Unemployment start to grow, right? People been buying, right? They were thinking that they will be buying, right? And that they will make the money. Now here is the thing, what's actually happening. Let me show you one also important chart in here, right? And this is from 2024 when I've been publishing this article, right? Probability of missing the debt payment in the next 3 months is actually skyrocketing from the 2020, right? Now it's somewhere even higher, right? So it's skyrocketing. Here, delinquency rate of all loans, right? In 2008, this white thing starts to go higher, right? Look, we are again exceeding, we are going higher, right? It's going higher. Now it's going to be even higher, right? So yeah, and also I wanted to show you something interesting, which was in US share. Yeah, look here, US share buybacks, right? The basically all the stocks, the buybacks are on the historical maximum, right? So all the stocks, everything is up because the companies, they're not producing new things, they're not too much developing, or because the economy is good. It's all going up because they have access to the cheap capital and they buy back own stocks. This is how they pumping the price, right? And I won't find, give me a second, I will show you important chart, right? No, this is the debt, right? Look, debt in 2024 September was 36 trillions. Now it's 37.3, almost 4, right? With this rate, they are actually adding almost 3 trillions a year, right? Here is unrealized losses on the investment securities held by big banks, right? Look, I mean, they have a huge unrealized loss, right? And for this loss to keep going, they need the interest rates going down, right? Because they are over leveraged in the markets, right? The big ones. But what was the chart of the? Give me a second. I will find you important chart. Yes. Yeah. Look, here is a corporate insider buys, right? So basically the insiders are not buying. They're not buying, they're mostly selling. You can see a lot of CEOs and owners are selling their stocks, right? And they are buying the big investors, right? They are buying stocks at the slowest pace on the 13 years, right? So the big money are leaving the market, they're staying in the cash, right? And the dump money are in the markets, right? So anyway, what's the protection, right? As we can see in here, as the S&P tanked with that, right? Most likely Bitcoin will also tank, right? Put the gold chart, you will see what the gold was doing, but it also actually tanked temporarily, right? So I actually don't know what the Bitcoin will do, right? I don't think that it will go higher. It will get smashed, right? Definitely, especially as the ETFs and all these new players which are right now in the Bitcoin, they are not the hodlers, right? They will sell, right? But for me, and I do not want to speak about a potential war, which I think can accelerate in the next 3 to 6 months, right? Because there's a huge tension, Russia, Ukraine, and the Europe. Politics. They want war, right? It's clear. It's all setting the stage, right? So, yeah, the fourth turning is now coming, and the next 4 years will be really interesting, right? So. hard to give any advice. What I'm going to do, I will stick in a Bitcoin because for me it is hard asset, right? I will definitely get some hit, but I have a cash flow. I don't have. I am not dependent on that, and my future doesn't depend on where is going Bitcoin going to be. But for me, it's definitely better to stay in the Bitcoin because if all of these crashes happen, what's actually happening in the time, right? In the time, and we will check this chart also, and it's going to be last one because I don't want to make this video boring. Let's put M2 money supply, and we will see. We will put global money, global M2, right? What is it? Global M2 money supply, United States. What is global M2 global wealth limited? Okay, so let's put this one, right? It's going to be the US, right? So it's this, right? This green line, we don't want to see this, and we won't see S&P, and we want to hide this one, right? Where is this US global, right? So you can see as the when there is a crash, right, the expanding, right? So it's still expanding, right? So everything is going up right now. Can we just see this? No, we cannot. Okay, only 3 months, right? So it's still going to be expanding, right? And the Bitcoin will be also expanding. So when this crash is going to happen, how they gonna save that, right? Or the war, if the war will somehow roll out, they will print fucking tons of the money, right? So there will be currency debasement. You need to be in some assets which are protected from this currency debasement or from the banks. If the war will roll out, the banks will stop giving you the money. You will not be able to take out the money. You need to have a gold, silver. Maybe Bitcoin has a chance, but who knows? I mean, I'm almost all in the Bitcoin, but who knows how the Bitcoin will behave during some crisis or crashes, right? No one knows, right? So we will see. Take care, my friends.